What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are all enjoying your wonderful day, and this will be another weather forecast on the potential for the major southern snowstorm here for the south central, including the deep southeast, like Louisiana and Mississippi. So we are going to be seeing snow for areas that usually don't get snow at all. So it's going to be very interesting, a very rare type snowstorm here. Looking at snow for areas like Monroe, Louisiana, maybe Jackson, Mississippi, Dallas, as well, all the way down to Austin, Texas. So we have not had snow in some of these areas since Benji in 2017. So definitely something very interesting to keep a close eye on. And looking at up to a foot of snow for some areas here, depending where you are. But we're looking at a very widespread amount of snow, ice, or even some flash flooding to the south where we're seeing those warmer temperatures. So we're really looking at the timing, what your area can see, and all of that throughout this video here, where the heaviest snow will be, and where areas will just miss out on the snow. All of that throughout the beginning to the end of this video here, and I'll keep you guys updated as well on this when it starts tonight, and I'll have more videos out tomorrow on this as well. If you have any questions on exactly whether your area can see snow or not, be sure to drop in the comments below, and I'll do my best to respond to them here. If I don't respond to your comment, I do apologize, because sometimes I can get up to like 100 comments per video, and sometimes I just lose track. But let's go ahead and take a look now at the National Weather Service right now. So we actually have now winter storm warnings have now been in effect now, according to the National Weather Service. Now, winter storm warnings as well just south of Dallas. Winter storm warnings now for Abilene, Texas, as well just a general Texas region from the Lubbock region all the way down near the College Station area. We have winter storm warnings. Austin, Texas, under a winter weather advisory. Dallas, under a winter weather advisory. And look at this now, we have winter storm watches for areas like Tyler, Texas. We have winter storm watches for areas like Shreveport and Monroe. All the way outside near the Jackson, Mississippi area is where we have some type of winter storm watch. So you can see all the way from areas like New Mexico down to Mississippi, we have some type of weather alert there as well, including Oklahoma, southwestern Kansas, and as well in the southern Rockies in New Mexico and Colorado. So this is not just a Texas storm. However, obviously it'll be more significant for these more deeper and more populated areas, because obviously you've got big cities that may get snow, and they haven't gotten snow in years, depending on where you're looking at. But looking at a few winter storm warnings there, that's where you possibly see over 5 inches of snow there. So if you're in a pink county, you will get a ton of snow. If you're in a winter storm watch, you could actually expect 1 to 5 inches of snow. It's a very large range here. Obviously, winter storm watches will be issued for the areas all the way deep to south, even though it may not be too much snow, just because obviously it is the south, so the criteria is a lot more different. So this is what we have so far for the National Weather Service. I do expect these watches to be issued more eastward overnight, and I do expect these winter storm warnings as well to possibly be more widespread. And I also do expect a few more special weather statements to be issued for areas that way they can get some light snow, or as well maybe some flash flood watches to the south of the areas less snow, like Houston or something like that. But just north of Houston, we have a winter storm watch there. I mean, that's quite interesting here. Let's go ahead and near the Dallas area, of course. Just outside the Dallas area, there's Fort Worth and Dallas. I would not be shocked if they get into a winter storm warning here. I would not get shocked, but just to the south, like area like Hillsboro, Temple, that's where we have a warning there. So that's Dallas, and as well, that's kind of what we have for Dallas. As well, let's move out near the Monroe area. So you just see in Louisiana, near Shreveport there, winter storm watch, Tyler, Lufkin. Those areas we don't really mention on my channel unless it's for severe weather. But weirdly, we're talking about snow for these areas, so definitely something very interesting here. Of course, we'll be watching the snow going into overnight, so around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock Central Time is when that snow becomes a lot more widespread for these areas, and then it'll arrive by midnight for areas like Abilene and west central Texas. So getting to late tonight and early tomorrow morning is when that snow will start to become a bit more widespread. But areas like Amarillo, far western Oklahoma, out there in eastern New Mexico, is where we can start to see that snow as early as the next few hours here. As we now move later on into overnight into tomorrow, that snow becomes a lot more widespread and heavy snow. Abilene can get very heavy snow as well. in just the west central regions where we're seeing that snow. Of course, in the south, we'll possibly be seeing some severe weather and heavy rain. As of now, it shouldn't be too shabby severe weather, but it could be quite iffy and maybe even a few scattered tornadoes for some areas. But I doubt we will be seeing any major outbreaks. But that's going to start becoming a bit more widespread now. Getting there to Dallas, they're going to start getting that snow by tomorrow, and that snow will move in by Monday for the areas like Louisiana. That's what I can be expecting now by Monday. That snow will now move out of Dallas, but will move in now to areas like Monroe, areas like Shreveport, Tyler, Texas. So it'll be like a Sunday night, Monday event for these areas. But for these areas, it'll be a tonight to tomorrow. So it's going to be quite different conditions when you go from east to west Texas there. And of course, by Monday night, that snow becomes really a lot more widespread for areas like maybe up there near Tupelo, Mississippi, outside near Monroe, Louisiana, just across the Mississippi River Basin. And then that'll move, obviously, oops, I did not mean to do that. That was actually my schoolwork. Oops, I did not mean to do that. And that'll now move into like areas like Memphis, a few snow showers there, not too shabby. But really, it's going to start to die down once it gets to Texas. Once it gets towards Tennessee, northern Mississippi, Arkansas, it starts to die down a little bit because temperatures will be warmer, actually. Believe it or not, temperatures will be colder in Louisiana and Texas than they are in Tennessee or Arkansas. So that's why the storm is not going to be a major Benji system, because typically when you see snow this deep south, it'll carry on to areas like Georgia, the Carolinas, Tennessee. However, just because like there's snow right now here or going to go in these areas, it's not going to stay like that. It's going to convert into rain mostly once it moves out of these areas. But of course, by tonight, we're going to get that snow there for areas like Amarillo, Clayton, and Roswell, New Mexico. So that's also very interesting here. And now now into tomorrow morning, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., rush hour, that snow continues now becoming more widespread. And there's like Amarillo, Lubbock, now getting towards Abilene. Those rain showers now start to develop in areas like Austin, Waco, and Dallas. But that snow's going to be rushing in quite quickly now. Very heavy snow for areas like Gainesville, Texas. Dallas going to start getting that snow. Fort Worth as well. Abilene, Lubbock. It'll be very, very heavy snow there. Now San Angelo might get a few maybe freezing rain snow line. But then it gets near Austin, just north of Austin, with that snow mix will be an extremely, extremely heavy snow for Dallas, Abilene, Tyler now. It's going to start quickly moving into areas like the Louisiana border by near Sunday night into Monday morning. And it'll become very, very heavy. I mean, we're talking very heavy snow. This won't be light snow. It won't be anything very light or non-severe. It'll be heavy, heavy snow for areas like Tyler, Texarkana, Shreveport, Lufkin, Waco, Austin as well. And of course, just to the south, we'll be seeing potential heavy rain in these areas here. So if you're in Houston, if you're in Lake Charles, if you're in Baton Rouge, you guys are just going to miss out on this just by a little bit. I feel your pain though, but this is of course the European. The European shows very heavy snow, especially for the west central Texas region. That's where it'll be mainly snow. However, the more east it goes, is the more it'll convert to rain over time. But up to near 8 inches there for areas near Abilene, Texas, up to 5 inches near Lubbock, as well up to maybe an inch or two for Dallas. But that continues now. Texarkana up to a trace there. Here near the Tyler area, you can see 3 to 5 inches of snow. And that carries on into Louisiana, up to 8 inches there, north of Alexandria, north central Louisiana, up to 5 to 7 inches there near Monroe, up to an inch or two for Shreveport, as well up to 5 to 7 inches there, or more like 4 to 5 inches there in Mississippi there. However, the GFS is more different, but the NAM tends to, I guess, agree with this, however. So, look at this really heavy snow. The NAM's really showing a ton of snow. Yeah, this is the NAM. It's showing extreme amounts of snow here, up to now 5 inches near Dallas. So that's a very big difference compared to the European. But they do agree with the snow in these areas for like Louisiana, up to half foot or more in north central Louisiana. And then it'll gradually decrease once it gets into Mississippi and Arkansas. A few inches is possible there. But look at that. In north central Texas, could see a ton of snow, up to near 8 inches of snow, where we have those warnings as well. The Abilene area, potentially San Angelo, you guys can get a decent amount of snow when it comes to this. I mean, Abilene, for example, their average is 3 inches of snow in the winter. They've already got up to 7 inches with that New Year's snow, with that New Year's storm, and now 2 weeks later, we see another big snowmaker that can potentially bring in additional 5 to 8 inches. That's maybe 12 inches so far, for example. If we get maybe 5 this storm, potentially 12 inches so far this year, which is obviously 4 times larger than their actual annual snowstorm. So we're looking at a very snowy winter for these areas in down central Texas here. And look at that, up to this is according to the HRRR as well, showing up to 5 inches there, maybe even 8 inches for scattered areas near the Fort Worth region. So European shows 1 to 2, and then the NAM and the HRRR show, which are more detailed radar, show the same thing, around 5 inches of snow for Dallas. So Dallas, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys get under a winter warning by tomorrow morning here. But of course, they remain that heaviest snow to the west, of course, near Lubbock, up to 6 to 8 inches there. Abilene up to a few inches there, and that will carry on to Louisiana. But again, the HRRR only goes 18 hours out, so it can't really go. I can't show you exactly what it shows here for these areas, but I do definitely think they'll gradually agree with with the NAM 3 kilometers. So again, I'm gonna go back here. This is what we have so far for the National Weather Service right now. So of course, I do expect these winter weather advisories to move a bit more northward, and I do expect a warning or so, maybe for Fort Worth or at least Dallas. And I do expect these winter weather advisories to possibly go a bit more widespread there, but really very interesting with this storm here. Definitely something we don't see too often, but hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys.